The Central Bank of Nigeria has instructed all banks and all financial institutions to transfer all monies in dormant accounts in their banks to the Apex Bank's account. What it simply means is that they have asked all the banks to transfer all monies in the dormant accounts in their bank to the central bank. Okay, and some people are saying some people who do not understand this very policy are criticizing the central bank. In fact, they are criticizing the federal government of trying to confiscate people's money. But these are few things that you need to know about this very policy. Number one, the central bank is saying that the banks should transfer this very fund to the central bank's account, pending when the owners of these very accounts can come forward to come and claim their funds with necessary information, the necessary documentations. According to a circular sent out by the Financial Policy and Regulation Department of the Apex Bank, it reads, "Circular to all banks and other financial institutions. Guidelines on management of dormant accounts, unclaimed balances and other financial assets in banks and other financial institutions in Nigeria. The CBN hereby issue the revised guidelines on the management of dormant accounts, unclaimed balances and other financial assets in banks and other financial institutions in Nigeria to banks and other financial institutions for implementation. This is sequel to the conclusion of the review of the guidelines on the management of dormant accounts and other unclaimed funds by banks and other financial institutions in Nigeria, issued in October 2015. The revised guidelines, which operationalizes Section 72 of the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act, BOFIA 2020, followed engagement and consultations with relevant stakeholders, whose comments and recommendations were considered in the review process. It, amongst others, standardizes the management of dormant accounts, unclaimed balances, and financial assets, and outlines the procedures for the administration of these balances, funds, and assets by banks and other financial institutions in Nigeria, the modalities for the transfer of the relevant balances, funds, assets to the CBN, together with the revised templates for the renditions of quarterly returns to Banking Supervision Department of or other financial institutions supervision department, as the case may be, will be communicated subsequently. The guidelines supersedes the guidelines on the management of dormant accounts and other unclaimed funds by the banks and other financial institutions in Nigeria, issued in October 2015 and takes effect immediately. This is signed by John S. Onoja, Director, Financial Policy and Regulations Department. Okay, now I want you to understand that there is a lot of fraud going on in commercial banks. Okay, you already know that the position of next of kin is not very defined by some banks. Okay, for example, if a customer dies, if a customer dies, the next of kin cannot easily come forward and claim the fund in the deceased customer's account if the customer did not obtain the form which they call pay on death form. Okay, if he didn't sign this very form, if he didn't fill this form, sometimes it's very difficult for the next of kin to come and claim that very fund. So what the banks do is they sit on these very monies, okay, without letting the next of kin to take the money of their relatives. Okay, the banks sit on these very monies and they trade with them. Most of the times, the next of kin cannot take the money. The next of kin cannot access this fund because of strict or difficult conditions placed on these very monies. There are some fraudulent government officials who lodge ill-gotten money in accounts, and most of these accounts are not opened properly. Okay, they are not opened with proper documentation like NIN and BVN. Okay, just because the owner of this account got the money in a fraudulent way. Okay, in a fraudulent means. So, and these banks are working with these fraudulent officials. In fact, there are so many fraudulent activities going on in banks which many people do not know about. You know, say na thief, now they know thief. So na banker, all these bankers, they know their secrets. They know their secrets, and that is the reason why the central bank is giving this very policy. That's the reason why the central bank has come up with this very policy, so that all these commercial banks, other financial institutions who are fraudulently sitting on monies that do not belong to them, okay, so that they will put a stop to it. Because if this continues, I even heard sometimes bankers go as far as eliminating lives of their customers who they know acquired the funds in a fraudulent means. Okay, I heard that bankers go as far as eliminating their customers so that they can be able to take over the funds, because nobody will be coming for the funds because they didn't open this account with the proper documentation like BVN and NIN. Okay, so when the customer when the customer is diseased, the relatives most of the times cannot come forward for this money, because it's either the customer did not let his family know about the money, or the family, the relative, cannot be able to come and stand for these funds because of the the conditions or the situation surrounding the very account. Please, I want you to share this video. Don't forget to follow us on this page, News Hunters, because this is where we'll be bringing you interesting videos every day. Thank you for watching.